So, do you want to get good at factoring fast? I am here today to show you quick and easy ways to get through your factoring questions. I even have a handout for you, so you can click the link below and it'll be sent directly to your inbox so you can print and follow along with me and then use it to study off of. If you're new here, my name's Danielle, and I'm a high school math teacher for over 18 years and tutor as well. And on this channel, I like to share my learning strategies and my math tips so math can be made zen for you. So if you're a high school math student, maybe subscribe so you can keep up to date with my latest videos. Okay, so if you have that handout handy, let's flip over the screen so we can start factoring together. So like I mentioned, we're going to be looking at factoring trinomials, but specifically simple trinomials. Trinomials come in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. A is the coefficient or the number sitting in front of x squared, b is the coefficient in front of x, and c is the third term, the constant term, usually just known as the number. So a simple trinomial is special because it has an a value set to 1. No other value can be a. So if you look at this first example, we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. The invisible number sitting in front here is a 1. So the a value is 1, the b value is the 5 and sitting in front of the x, and the constant is 6. Now, big idea that I want you to hold on to here. The word solve or solving a quadratic means you're finding your roots or your x-intercepts. So usually you're given an equation like this, y equals x squared plus 5x plus 6. If you're asked to solve this equation, that means you're looking for the, and you can fill this in with me, x-intercepts. That's my short for x-intercepts. So to solve for those x-intercepts, you're actually setting your y value equal to 0. This is because all of our x-intercepts, no matter what kind of graph we're dealing with, have this y value of 0. Let's piece it together visually. I'm such a visual person. So here, I know the numbers are really small, but you can see the two x-intercepts are sitting at -3 and -1. So I could write these as -3, 0, because it's sitting on the x-axis, which means this y value on this entire line is actually equal to 0. This is the ordered pair -3, 0, and this is the ordered pair -1, 0. Hence 0, 0 for y. Okay, so if I were to write this equation in factored form, I would get y is equal to, and maybe you've seen this already, x plus 3 as one factor and x plus 1 as the other factor. This tells us that x is equal to -3 and y is 0. This one here tells us that -1 is x and 0 is y. Now, if we were to expand this, and I'm assuming this is something you've seen, you would get y is equal to, let's just actually copy this out, x plus 3, x plus 1. If we were to expand, you would get x times x, which is equal to x squared, x times 1, which is just 1x or x, 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times 1, which is 3. We can simplify or clean this up and get x squared plus 4x plus 3. This is considered standard form, okay, when it's written like this, and this is considered factored form. Both serve us in different ways. So what we need to be able to do is go from standard form to factored form, because factored form allows us to see our x-intercepts. So expanding gives us standard form of a quadratic, and factoring gives us factored form of a quadratic. Factored, can I spell? Factored form of a quadratic. So here you have it. You have something that's in factored form. If we expand it, it looks like this. If we have something in standard form and we factor it, we get it into factored form. Okay, before we dive into the first question of actually factoring a simple trinomial, I have to give you a pro tip. I want you to look for a common factor, your greatest common factor first, if it exists, because Danielle would always miss this and then mess up the answer. So here, if you look at this first example, I can actually pull out a common factor of 2 from all of these. That means I'm dividing all these terms by 2. So this becomes x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now it's easier to see that this is a simple trinomial with a value of 1. As we go down here, we can now factor that trinomial. The 2 can just sit on the outside and we'll keep it there. We'll put it back in later on, okay? So here we go, the juicy part of the lesson. When we are factoring, we need to look at the 5, the coefficient 5, and the constant 6. Remember, this is our b and this is our c. We need two numbers that multiply to the C value, so a product of 6, but they add up, those same two numbers add up to the B value 5. I call these my magic numbers. We want to find our magic numbers. So what we do with the 6 is we look for all of its factors. 1 times 6 gives us 6. We need all combinations here. -1 times -6 also gives us 6. 2 times 3 gives us 6, and -2 times -3 gives us 6. Here are all the possible combinations that will produce a product of 6. Which one of these are going to be our magic numbers? It's going to be the set that gives us a sum of 5. 1 plus 6, does not give us a sum of 5. -1 plus -6 does not add up to 5. 2 plus 3, though, does give us 5. -2 minus 3 gives us -5. That's not good. We need a positive 5. So this is our guy. What we're then going to do is we're going to set up an equal sign, and we're going to put two brackets. Okay? This x squared needs to be split between the two brackets, because if I do x times x when I'm expanding, I'll get back my x squared. Once you know your two magic numbers, you're just inserting them as your magic numbers here. So x plus 2 and x plus 3. This is considered a factor, and this is considered a factor. Now, our original question had a 2 here. That's fine. We could put it back in. But we have just taken this trinomial and factored it down to x plus 2 and x plus 3. What does that mean? This means because this is equal to 0, remember y used to be here? This used to be technically y equals. Well, when you're finding your x-intercepts, any x-intercept says that your y is equal to 0. So when we put 0 here, that means that one of two things has to happen. Either this factor has to be 0, meaning this whole bracket has to be 0, because then when I multiply, the whole thing will become 0, or this bracket has to become 0. Now, keep it simple. Just solve for x here. X plus 2 has to either equal 0 or x plus 3 has to equal 0. So x is equal to -2 and x is equal to -3. That means your x-intercepts are -2, 0 and -3, 0. Now, if you ever want to check your answer, some teachers might ask you to do this on a quiz or test. What you're going to do is take your factored form. So y equals 2 bracket x plus 2 x plus 3. We can even ignore the 2 for right now. Okay, I'll just keep it there. But let's expand back out. This becomes x squared. X times 3 becomes 3x. 2 times x becomes 2x. And 2 times 3 becomes 6. These two can be simplified and added up. So we get our 2 plus x squared plus 3x. Sorry, I lied. Let's undo that. 5x, that's what I meant, plus 6. And there you go. You have back the original trinomial from up here, or with the 2 in front of it. How does that feel? Okay, you can always hit pause and try that question on your own. What you want to be able to do is take this piece and be able to factor it down to this form. I have one more example for you. If you're ready to try it out with me, what we want to do is get two numbers that multiply to -28, right? The C value, and add to +3, the B value. So let's first list all of the numbers that multiply to 28. We can get 1 and -28. We can get -1 and +28. We can get 2 and -14, or we can get -2, +14. What am I missing here? Any other numbers that give us 28? How about 7 and 4? So we can do 4 times -7, or -7. Oh, sorry, I should write the 4 first. I'm systematic like that. I can't. So -4 and +7. Am I missing anything else to 28? I don't think so. So now which one of these? Okay, this definitely does not give me 3, right? So that's an X. -1, I'm hoping many of you can see which one it is. 2 and -14, or -2 and 14 will never give us 3 in any which way. But 4 minus 7, pretty close. That's -3. So it's got to be -4 plus 7. It's this one, that last combination right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 0 is equal to x squared plus 3x minus 28. We're going to set up our two brackets. X and x are here. And now we're just going to insert -4, +7. So our two answers, or our two factors, are x minus 4, x plus 7. Our x-intercepts are going to be 4 and 0, -7 and 0. Why? Because if I go to solve this, x minus 4 is set to 0. So x equals 4. There it is. And if I go to solve this one, x plus 7 is equal to 0, so x equals -7. There you have it. With your handout, copy it all down, and then you can definitely come back to this and try it on your own to make sure you've fully understood it. So that was factoring simple trinomials. Did any of it confuse you? You can always leave me a comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond and hopefully help you out. If there's any math topics that you want me to cover here on this channel, you can also comment down below and maybe I'll make a video out of it for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos with more math lessons. Have a good one.